Hi there, today's book is You Shouldn't Have Come Here by Juneva Rose. Grace Evans is used to taking solo trips. Apparently, once a year, she will, this is a story she's given anyway. She'll take a trip by herself, and the way that she determines her destination is just picking a spot on the map, and she'll go there. So she gets this Airbnb in Wyoming, and it's on a little ranch. So she gets there, and she meets the Airbnb host. His name is Calvin. Now, Calvin is really good looking, and he seemed to take an immediate liking to her. And he is tending to her every needs, and it is a little bit creepy because we see where within a day or two, he's treating her almost like a girlfriend. He's making sure she has coffee. He's doing little things. It's like, okay, this is a bit much. The situation was kind of weird also because where she was staying is in a house, but the bedrooms is just like a regular house where his bedroom was down the hall, which was a little bit weird. You'd think that there would be a separate guest area, but there wasn't. So they're in this close proximity, and it seems as though Grace is kind of liking the attention, but she's kind of cautious. And when they were there, at some point, there's a sheriff that showed up, Sheriff Almond, and he's looking for this girl that went missing. So in asking Calvin about this girl, because apparently she had reserved a stay at his, on his Airbnb site, but he says this girl never showed up, and so this girl is missing. So we didn't really think too much of it. He claimed that she never showed up. The sheriff took his story, and they left. However, not long after Grace arrived, she was having issues. She had gone out to get some regular clothes. She's a city girl, so she wanted to get some things that she can wear around the ranch because he took her, to give her a tour, and he has like animals. There's a little river that runs along the property, so they went fishing one day, and all her clothes are just not really suited for that kind of environment. So when she went to the store, there's this lady, I think her name was Betty. She is the owner of the store. And it seemed that she already knew about her, even though she hadn't met her before, which she was like, it took her a while after she got home. And she's like, wait a minute, I never told her my name. How does she know my name? But anyway, we later find out that she is like a mother figure to Calvin, and that their parents had died not so long ago. I thought it was a year or two ago. And so he came back to town to take care of the ranch. He has a brother whose name is Joe. And Joe, it doesn't seem like they really get along that well. But when the car broke down, he is kind of handy and he can fix those things. So he said that he would have his brother come and check it out. However, it's taking a while, before the brother comes by, and she's wondering like what's really going on. It seemed like, he's trying to keep her there. But anyway, ultimately they got into a little entanglement while they were there. We meet also this girl who comes to the farm to help him out, and her name is Charlotte. Now, it seems as though there's something going on between Calvin and Charlotte, or may have happened in the past, but he insists that they were only friends. And so she's not really quite liking Charlotte. So there's kind of this, tension between the two of them. And so we later discovered they do have a little bit of a history going on. And when the brother came, it seemed as though, Calvin is giving the impression, although he didn't really say that to Grace, that the brother was kind of dangerous and couldn't really be trusted around her. It seemed as though maybe he could possibly hurt her. This is what he's portraying to us as the reader. So one day after the brother finally made it there, he checked out the vehicle and he let him know what the issue was, and he offered to pay for it, that, order the part, he'll pay for it. And he's like, really? The brother was like, it seemed kind of inappropriate that he would pay for it, and he didn't even consult her to see if she was okay with him paying for it. But anyway, she wants to get away, and there were some weird things that happened while she was on staying at the ranch. And it seemed as though and Calvin was kind of saying this too, that, it seems like death abounds at the ranch because his parents had died not so long ago. He had a fiance that had died recently, or was it a girlfriend? And then she had a near-death experience as well while she was there. So we find out that Calvin is a little lying pants, because when there is a basement there at the house and it was locked. It was kind of like off limits. When she arrived there, he claims it was just old and dingy basement and he just used it for storage, and so he locked it. So after little things that were happening concern her, she decided to go snoop around in the basement when he wasn't there. And she discovered some things that were kind of contrary to what he had told her. So now she feels like there's a sense of urgency that she needs to get out of there. There's also a guest that came shortly after she arrived, which she was questioning because he had said that there wouldn't be anybody else staying there while she was there. And he lied about that too, as far as who the guy was. And she discovered that he was somebody else who had a connection with her. So there's a bunch of things that were kind of bubbling up at the same time. And when time finally came for her to leave, when the vehicle was supposedly fixed, it seems like a cordial thing. They had been involved, and she kind of, separated herself a little bit as she was discovering things, and the end was kind of cordial. And she left the house. She went to go pack up her things, and she came back in to say, kind of say bye or whatever, try to close things on a positive note. And so things got kind of hairy at that point. So we also know that Calvin was lying about the other girl. So that storyline got wrapped up in the end. And we find out that not only does Calvin have a secret, Grace also has a secret, which is something that we didn't expect or see coming, because the whole time she was just portrayed as the innocent, gorgeous city girl who was just taking a vacation away. We also, at the end of the book, discover that when she went back home, that she's married with children, which is kind of odd considering that she took off. But we find out what the excuse was that she gave, or how she was able to get away to do this excursion. Now, Calvin, we knew in reading the book that he was lying about some things, and he might possibly be semi-dangerous, or at least at a minimum creepy or obsessive. But we discover a whole nother thing, a whole nother side to him, and a whole nother side to Grace as well. So this is something that kind of exploded, I guess, at the end of the book. So there was, there's a buildup of, throughout the book, but there wasn't a whole lot of action until the end of the book, which when we got to that part, I was very surprised at the ending. So I enjoyed the book. If you have read or listened to this one, let me know your thoughts. I would definitely give this one 4, because the ending was so dramatic. But let me know what you think if you have read this one. Until next time.